Hello, everybody, and welcome to Technically Trek episode number 96. I am your host, Dave Prime. Over there, filling in for the Ditzy Witch, Captain Katie, is President Travis McQuarrie. How's it going, my man?
Well, I mean, I would say we're surviving, you know, a winter blast or Arctic blast, I should say. Most of us, if you're in middle of like Canada, the US, all the way down to as far as Texas and
Even the
Florida, we're
yeah,
surviving, we're surviving winter.
yeah, saying even the Panhandle of Florida got some of the white stuff, but yeah, you're dealing with what we had here in Colorado Springs a few days ago, where I think it was Tuesday morning, it got to -5, and I was just like,
Mm.
oh my God. And seeing the owner
We're
of
not
my solar
supposed
house.
we're not supposed to see those temperatures in my neck of the woods until Friday into Saturday. We have been
Ugh.
experiencing the temperature. The highest the temperature has gotten here, for the most part, is 29 degrees. You know, and it has dropped to almost to the single digits each time I woke up and
Yeah.
got ready for work and stuff. This past Monday morning, I feel like I had to chisel my way into my car because of the sleep that came with the storm. And it took me forever. Normally it takes me 20 minutes to get to work, 25 minutes to get to work. It took me 40 to 45 minutes to get to work. The roads was bad, had to deal with ice sheets on the car and stuff, and making sure that you driving responsibly and stuff and watching out for others. This past week has been pretty much crazy for a lot of us dealing with this weather. And I just I don't know. I knew it was coming because it always happens after New Year's, but I'm like, I could just deal with the snow. I don't have to deal with the cold that comes behind the snow. I could deal with snow, but not the freezing temperatures to make the snow turn to like ice.
Yeah, see, like, see, yeah, it's just like, yeah,
Mm.
it was pretty bad here, and it just, yeah, I just went outside, started my car, and immediately ran back inside, let it warm up because it takes twice as long for that engine to warm up when it's -5 degrees outside, and we're talking Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So God only knows that's
Yeah.
like even colder for Katie. I say
Oh,
she's like, "Oh, yay!" But who knows? But before we get too deep into it, I do want to observe a brief moment of silence because it was 40 years ago today the shuttle Challenger
yeah.
exploded just seconds after liftoff on a equally cold January day. So I just can't
Yeah.
believe it's
Yeah.
been 4 decades. That means I was only
Eh,
10 when that happened.
and I was 7 years old. I still, believe it or not, I'm sure I'm a true age, but it's been 40 years since the Challenger happened, the Challenger disaster.
Mhm.
And believe it or not, it is one of those things where you just, as a kid, you didn't know what was going on and stuff and everything. But as you gotten older, you were like, wow, I was present there. I was present for this event that was so, horrific and stuff. All them, the astronauts and the teacher, it's just one of those sad things. We witnessed it, and they immediately turned off the TV, because it was just terrible,
I
but like you say,
Yeah, see, I'm just trying to remember exactly what Mrs. Anderson, Mrs. Bollinger did at the aftermath. I still remember seeing the plumes, seeing the
yeah,
rockets still going off, going all wayward and stuff. But
yeah, yeah. I still remember, we everybody was silent.
yeah,
I'm
we were
staring.
stunned and shocked and just like, what the heck
As
happened?
kids, we were, but some of the teachers kind of was crying, like in the hallway. Some teachers, they had like, some wiping their, stuff. I mean,
Yeah, because Chris
I,
McAuliffe, a fellow teacher, was one of the astronauts on that shuttle.
yeah, yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
sad. But let's do a moment of silence, like Dave said, for 40 years of the Challenger disaster.
All right. So Okay, enough. Well, can't say definitively enough sad stuff. We're going to start talking about the episode we watched this past week, Vitus Reflux. When I first saw it, I thought it was Vitus, but seen there's it's pronounced Vitus. Um,
Yes.
but
Real quick,
one thing.
thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil, for stopping in. Thank you, Dylan, for stopping in as well. I
Mm,
see them in chat and everything. I'm glad Phil remembers, uh, where he was and remember the events of, the shot Challenger exploding and stuff. And Dylan, wow, yeah, makes me makes me show my makes me show my true age and stuff and everything else, about
yeah,
that.
so yeah. So my parents were, I think my parents were, yeah, about 10 years older than that. So,
My parents was
which
about
I,
10 years older than.
which reminds me, I do have to call my parents and let them know my new phone number. But
There
my
you go.
one of my nieces, it's their birthday today, so I sent a
Oh,
text. Well,
oh,
mm, I- Owen, I don't know if you're watching or not, but if you are, happy birthday. Thank you for making your Uncle Dave feel old because they sent me a text saying this is the first time I can go legally get a drink at the bar. It's like oh God.
it's hilarious.
Oh, my sister kids
Oh,
are almost all of legal drinking age now. I think
um,
that my sister's youngest, Griffin, he's still in school for another year or two. So, but they're getting
oh,
old. I'm
oh,
getting old seeing their ages. But it's like good griep and goulashes, as I like to say. Oh yeah, yeah. But
yeah,
I
Phil,
but
Phil.
today is 620 days sober for me. So I sent I took me a while to formulate a text just saying, hey, drink responsibly, don't overindulge, be safe. I still remember the aftermath of going out getting my first legal drink after I turned 21. It was at a gay bar in Seattle, and I do have flashes of memory of throwing up almost the entire way home. We had to pull over God knows how many times, and we pulled over at a gas station on Vashon Island where I was just puking in the toilet for about a half an hour before we went home, and I still got I think it was the motion sickness. Just had to pull
Yeah.
over. God, like I say, I don't know how many times we pulled over that night. That should have
So
been the
with
first
that,
indicator that should have been my first indicator that alcohol's not for me, but it took
so
another
with that
20
said,
years.
everybody, if you when you turn 21 and you haven't had, any drinks before 21, which we all know that a lot of people drink underage, drink responsibly and drink with people who will watch out for you if you want to experience
Which I
that.
did have someone watching out for me, but yeah, I'd say that he was doing the driving that night. Definitely, I say I was not driving that night. Just like I was in no condition to be driving that drunk. But
Yeah. All righty. Yeah, that's
but
good.
yeah. So one thing that makes this podcast unique from other Star Trek podcasts. I mean, everyone they all have the whichever way the link is for the live chat, or it might just be down below. And say, which by the way, if you click on the link below in the description, and say that'll give you a link for you to actually interact with us on camera or on microphone if you're a little camera shy. That's what makes us unique from other Star Trek podcasts. We welcome and encourage you to come on with us, talk to us about whatever we're talking about. And
Yeah.
then that way we can, because I mean, you can type to your heart's content, and I've actually had this conversation with a couple of people the last couple of days is you don't know the vocal inflection of what you're reading, what I read, what
Absolutely.
Travis reads, what Katie reads, what Zach reads, what Phil reads, might they might hear it totally different than what you needed to say. So by hearing it straight out of your mouth, we know what the heck you're trying to say. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but of course, before we go into that, I won't go into the whole spiel on Dubby since we're already 15 almost 15 minutes into the podcast.
Yeah.
Is my streaming partner Dubby, which makes a variety of awesome energy drinks, including which is limited edition, the s'mores, which you can see behind me back there, is that you just unlike water with most energy drinks, you mix this with milk, and it actually tastes like s'mores. It tastes like campfire goodness. It's a good product. Once it's sold out, it's gone forever. Probably they might bring it back. Who knows? If the demand warrants it, they might bring it back. But they got a Galaxy Grenade. They got big energy tiers. They got Grampus Denture Water. Saying so, it's a lot of great products. But if you use the code TechTrek, TEKTREK, you get 10% off that order off of any non-bundled product or specialty licensed product like Solo Leveling, which they have a couple of flavors related to that anime series, as well as Chainsaw Man. But anyways, say Travis and I, we're talking backstage. We don't know how how interactive we're going to be tonight. Saying it will we'll kind of gauge it at 90 minutes and see where we're at, and then see if it's kind of like we'll call it good for the night. But say I got some notes, and we were talking backstage. I've been a big fan of Star Trek since I first really started getting into it at season 3 of Deep Space Nine. I was well into it at Deep Space Nine. Season 3 of The Next Generation, right before Best of Both Worlds. That's when I first really started watching the show. And that's when I first picked up the novelization of Encounter at Farpoint, since I did not see the first or second season of the series from what I can recall. But yeah, my first real taste of Star Trek: The Next Generation was Best of Both Worlds, which
So best of both worlds.
with
Okay.
that's definitely a really good one to get me roped in. Just like you don't know the characters, and then you see the captain get assimilated by the Borg. You get Riker ordering to fire. If people are shocked by that, that spoiler alerts have dropped decades ago. But that
You see
episode
what
got
Phil's saying?
that I did not. Let me pull it up here.
He said a link in down and it's not working.
Oh shit. Whoops.
Well,
I well
he didn't look at it differently.
I'm going to get that fixed here in about yeah, it's been a week. I've been pulled apart almost by the seams in like 6 8 different directions.
Well, in the
It's not
meantime,
fun.
Dave, while you doing that stuff, we'll talk. Let's start talking a little bit about this particular episode and stuff, how it relates to what's going, like what this show is starting to give to us and stuff and everything else. For me, I'm gonna try to be, because I know some people, like people disagree with me a lot and say that I'm wrong most of the time and stuff and everything. But I'm gonna try to keep a very open mind and be like not biased or anything. So I'm gonna just kind of focus on this particular episode, the good points and stuff that really stand out and everything. S- when it first, like when it's when the show started up, in a sense, you looked at it and stuff. You're like, wow, this is going to be Starfleet Academy. And we saw the first 2 episodes last week, and they were just introducing us to these characters and stuff and everything, and we got to see, oh wow, so this is not going to be anything like Star Trek, like we've seen before. Now, we starting to get familiar with some of the characters and everything, but this particular episode started out with them working out in the, like in the gymnasium and stuff,
Yeah,
and it was
wait,
pretty
which
interesting.
before you go too deep into that, if you refresh the YouTube page, the link is there now. So
Ah,
apologies for that. Like I said, it's been a week. I've been pull, pulling it all over the place. I had a site visit from
Nickly Trek.
the summer manager, so it's been it's been a week.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
And
In this
I
particular
said,
episode, like I said, Dave, it really interesting to see how they open up.
mhm,
With them in the gym, them showing off their athletic abilities and stuff and everything, which was pretty interesting. It's like, okay, we got Starfleet Academy, and then we got the War College.
mhm,
Okay, I mean, they're gonna be working. They're gonna be, they're not just working, but they're gonna be training side by side. You know, and it was just interesting to see that. But then, I'm trying to make it, and trying to make this short and everything else. Caleb walking across. And also he get hit with the basketball. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, this is starting to be this is it's kind of like high school. I was like, oh, really?
Which
We're gonna do this.
we do have to be cognizant of the fact that
They are
this
young.
show has been kind of geared towards the late teen, early 20s audience to try and get those new people that didn't grow up on the shows as we did
Oh
into the
yeah,
Star Trek franchise. But
absolutely.
since it's kind of like Stargate Universe. They just drug the early episodes on so long. It wasn't
Hmm.
grabbing
Yeah.
the um what's the word I'm looking for? The
Viewers,
kind of like not the tenured, but the legacy audience. That's
the legacy audience. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I just saw a teaser for next week's episode. It does look good. It looks like it might be ramping up a little bit. So
Okay. I mean, I know we still got what 7 more episodes in this series in the
season.
first season and stuff. And I mean, I am trying to, for somebody who I consider myself, yeah, I say, and a traditionalist Star Star Trek person who come from the TOS era, TNG, the '90s and stuff and everything else. I'm a I am trying my best to not crap all over
Mm,
new Trek because, like you said, it's geared towards bringing in the younger people and stuff and everything, and that's something that they want and everything else. It is mildly entertaining and stuff. It hasn't really pulled me in, quite yet. I'm still, just learning, you know, what exactly are they want to do with this particular series. And you could kind of see a little bit at, oh, this is how they are, you know, have this is what they are looking to do with these characters and stuff and everything. One thing I meant to mention to you guys last week about uh, the actor who played Caleb. His
hmm.
name is Sandro, something like that.
Yeah.
This is his first big um, acting gig.
Mm,
Before then, he was not really an actor or anything. This is his really first take on being an actor. And according to reports and stuff, because we've seen his physique, he actually had to lose weight to actually be like actually to be in, I guess, the costumes and stuff and everything, because he used to be bulked up and stuff and everything. According to sources, he actually had to lose weight because he was not going to fit into some of the costumes that are shown on the
interesting.
series.
Yeah, because I
So
mean,
I want to throw that
he seemed pretty buff. But yeah, you're talking to a gay man about it, so Mhm.
out.
Same
But
same with you, of course. But
uh, in this particular episode and stuff, we got to see them. It was like, okay, so in this episode, they look like they have some rivalry issues. You got the Starfleet Academy,
just
but
just a little.
the War College,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh,
yeah,
we're going there.
because the War College was essentially created during the burn as Starfleet was in shambles, and it's no
Hmm.
war, no space travel. What's the point of Starfleet if there's no space travel? So the War College was created to kind of fill in that void to still protect the planet.
Yeah, exactly. And they try to rebuild and stuff, and these are the early days and stuff of Starfleet. You know, it shows you that well, they are really taking this to a whole new level when it comes to how we see like Starfleet Academy in certain things. Like in we got a glimpse of it in TNG
Hmm.
when Wesley was, I believe, when he was in the shuttle accident to kill Joshua Albert and stuff.
The first duty.
and
Hmm.
the first duty. And then, when Nog, when he asked if he could, if Cisco will, be his sponsor into the academies and stuff and everything. And then we saw some more stuff later, you know, with other cadets and stuff and everything. But this particular episode really, well, not the episode, but this season actually focus on students, not like ships or, command stuff like it. It's like, what do they train? How do they train and stuff and everything else? And you saw too in this episode that, you know, um, the chancellor was trying to help them without helping them. And it was like she was giving them advice on, well, if you're going to have this little, not, I don't want to call it a spat, but if you want to have this little rivalry or this little, tension thing with the war college and stuff like that, you got to be more amicable about it. You can't have, um, you can't, you can't be bullish and just, hey,
No,
Phil.
hey,
Thank you for joining us.
thanks.
You can't have this like way of like because it's like they would like she said in there, the chancellor, these young people are the first in 120 some odd years,
120
you
years.
know to be back and everything else, and some of them came in, she said, cargo containers, stuff like that, you
Good,
know
good to see you there, Brittany.
hey, Brittany. But yeah, it was kind of, it was entertaining. But what was entertaining too was when the War College decided to play a prank on them when they was just all around the shower, when they were just in well, outside the shower and stuff, and they decided that, yeah, we're gonna beam them into different little locations in their skimmies. And I'm like, so, as they say, it's not original and not very creative because it was done before. And what they said, the first class, or is some
Like, a bunch of first years got beamed on top of Alcatraz, which it's great that in the 32nd century, Alcatraz is still there, which I think might be a small dig from Star Trek Into Darkness when it got demolished by
oh,
the USS Vengeance, which is J.J. Abrams' little dig at
Masters
the
universe.
Alcatraz show being canceled. So
Oh
there's
yeah.
a whole
Oh
bunch of wibbly wobbly going on there.
no, 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 no. I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Sean Ferrick in Trek Culture said that he was like, we see, in the 24th century, in the 23rd century, 24th century stuff, they could do mass beam. They could do a mass beam out or mass, transport location and stuff and everything. He gave it kind of thumbs down and stuff and everything because it wasn't really original, but having half naked cadets beamed into like a classroom now, it's pretty creative though.
Then, but there's a bit when Caleb's towel dropped right in the middle of Reno's lecture, and she's like, "Hello."
Oh
I would not
yeah,
have mind being in that class.
Something like that
that's
happened on
good.
Lower Decks too, didn't it? In one of the early
Well,
episodes.
not exactly. There's that scene where they were all in the sonic shower together and they were all ramping it up and stuff, and they had the pixelated areas of the
Oh,
nether
okay.
regions. If that's the same episode you're thinking about,
It was
Phil,
an
but
early
thank you for
one.
there,
coming. But thank you for coming
Yeah,
tonight with us and stuff and everything else.
oh,
yeah, yeah.
not
Of
just me and
course.
Travis yapping.
I was happy to join in. I,
Oh,
I
thank you.
keep.
And
I
and,
try to
and
keep this
for
time frame blocked for this. So
right, right. Well, for anybody who know, Katie usually co-hosts for a day, but she had to take some personal time for herself and everything, and so I'm just co-hosting for. I'm just filling in the spot this evening for
right.
her. So no worry, Katie will
Okay.
be back, Dylan. Everybody and stuff.
All right.
She's just taking some personal. She's taking some personal time and stuff. But Phil, welcome. Tell us, what you think. I just watched the show today. I had so much to do this past weekend. I wasn't able to, and then I
Oh,
watched Trek Culture so that I could see remember and see if there's like anything that I missed and stuff. But like, give us your take real quick.
I first of all, I hope Katie gets better. I'm hoping she didn't decide to decoat because we kind of trashed on it last week.
No, it's definitely not that. I mean, well, we all know she deals with chronic insomnia,
Yeah, she
and
does.
she's
Yeah,
is dealing
I
with
get
some
that.
other issues, and she's got something going on next week. So there's already a
Mm.
plan of having Travis step up for her next week. But this week she's just like, I'm not feeling well. I can try. And she's so apologetic. Whenever she
Yeah.
reaches out to me saying, can you reach out to Travis? Can you ask him if he can fill in? The answer is always going to be yes, but
Yeah.
I always just respond to her, you do you.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I
If you
hope you
need if you need to
don't
step
come back
back,
next
take a
week.
break. Hopefully I
Yep.
never have to do that, but saying because who knows what'll end up happening with
Yeah.
her taking the helm since I've done everything on my computer. But come hell or high water, I'm going to be here every week. But I mean, if
Okay.
there's a week that I'm not going to make it, it's probably not going to be a show because happened summer 2024 when I went on my high school reunion, which is like I'm not going to take time out to
Yeah.
talk.
I think
I didn't even know what
it's
my
like a
internet
year or
connection was
so
going to be
ago.
like where I was
You
going.
know.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I digress. Back to the
But
episode.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. I think Travis, you almost kind of just took the words out of my mouth. Basically, I tried. Um, I I I watched it and I
Hey,
was doing a
George.
couple of things at the same time, and because I really feel like I don't think it's necessarily it's probably I can't really call it a bad show. It looks really good. Like there looks like a lot of money on the screen. It
But
looks
it's not.
They,
They had a small budget. They actually had a
is
small
that
budget.
right?
Yeah, they
Is that
have a
right?
small budget.
The sets look really fantastic. I think the costumes look nice, but I just the characters I'm having a hard time connecting with it, and it's just maybe because I when I first heard about this, I thought it was going to be like a little bit darker, a little bit more like the process they'd have to go through um, to become worthy to work on a starship, to get through
Yes,
things like the
yes.
Kobayashi Maru tests and all this stuff they'd have to get through. So I was expecting, I think, something a little darker and grittier. And then, as we were all saying last week, we kind of got like like a teen drama, and
Yeah.
and I guess maybe that's kind of I don't know if that's what young people are into, and I
I was gonna say there was a guy and I was watching earlier, Phil, as he was taking. His name is Sean Ferrick. He has a channel called Trek Culture. Anybody who's a Star Trek fan should check him out. Sean Ferrick, Trek Culture and stuff. He does
okay,
his ups and downs of every of Star Trek movies, shows, or episodes and stuff like that. Really good. He really him and his people, they really do things where they actually do things where you may have missed something and you probably don't know like little background facts about like your particular episode,
all
particular
right, okay,
this
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. He's really him and his
Okay,
team are very detailed.
okay.
So he mentioned like you just pointed out about the team thing real quick, then I'll let you go back.
Mhm.
He said in a one, he kind of remind him in a sense where in season one of Buffy the Vampire Slayer from 1990 in the 90s, he said there was an episode where some high schoolers they got possessed by hyena spirits.
Right.
And he said it kind of felt like, we was kind of like it kind of be in that little sense. He kind of compared that to that about like, high,
Oh,
high schoolish type thing and stuff. I'm not trying to
right.
trash on the show. He just mentioned that it just seems a little bit, we can see the young side because we're dealing with teenagers slash 20 some year olds who are new to Starfleet and stuff.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
But go ahead, Phil.
I okay, no, I'll have to actually have a look for that. Remind me that again later, or drop me a text or something later. If
Yes.
I'd definitely check that out. Yeah,
yeah,
but as I said, it's been hard for me to really connect with it. But it's not to say it's necessarily a bad show either, just because because I'm not connecting with it. I don't think it is necessarily a bad show. I just feel like it was kind of written for a different group of people, and maybe Star Trek's trying to spread their wings again. They're trying to get in different demographics. Maybe they're trying to get more young people on board to watch
Oh
it.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
so and I hope it does. I don't know what the ratings have been like. I know it's been getting really dumped on in the ratings, and it's not not doing that well. But no, I guess we'll see over time how it does. But as I said, I'm just not. The storyline's just I
you're not
watched it.
feeling
I didn't
it.
pay
You're
close
not
attention
feeling it.
to it. Yeah. I did find it a little interesting at the end, and I had a feeling that's what she was doing. I won't jump ahead because I know Dave's going to run through the episode, but how the captain set everything up for them to do what they did, I thought was a good little touch there, the good little thing at the end there when he caught on to that. So I thought that was well done.
Yeah, not only that, with the fact that she's a Lathanite, she was there during the last big prank that she kind of hinted towards, and just like, and so yeah, so
My
she was
thought there was
definitely a
that
kid back then.
What's that?
She was definitely a kid back then, but
oh yeah. I was just surprised they got away with what they were allowed to get away with, though. Considering what Starfleet is, considering how tight you watch like any of the Star Trek episodes, how tightly they run a ship and they run a station and then they're just like, oh, just throw something up on the monitors and we can just hack into this and do that. Like, what the fuck are you guys getting away with all of this?
Well, it's very interesting because it's on a streaming service, and where we are used to is from like network TV and stuff and everything else. The streaming services can be a little bit like relaxed when it comes to the things that you can see, like they want to be a little bit more edgier. They want to be a little bit more edgier and stuff and everything.
I just kept thinking, man, if they did that, they should be in so much shit for what they're doing. I was just, but
I mean, literally, it's like some of these young people. It's like, wow. I mean, when they go through like the hallways and stuff, and they just the way they speak and the way they just how they act. I'm like, like they should be learning discipline. I mean, like very. I know what's that, Laura Thought. She's
she is a freaking badass. I love her. She is my favorite character of the. Followed by Aki is a close second, but like Laura Thawk, she doesn't put up with any BS. She is an in your face drill instructor. She's like, it's like
absolutely.
I love her. The fact that she is an item with Reno, it just makes it even more adorable. Seeing that bit with them about dinner that night, and just like that.
Did you catch that, Phil?
Yeah. Yes.
And,
I did.
And I think someone mentioned online that this might have been the first time in Star Trek that a turducken was mentioned.
It is. It is. I had to look that up myself. I was like, did they just say the turducken?
I thought that I'd heard the first time. Then I read it. Then I watched it a second time right before the show. Just like, oh my god! Just like, they're still prepping food. They're not just replicating it at the last minute because who knows, they might burn it like Janeway did with her replicator. Which I still would say is an amazing culinary feat to burn replicated food.
There's so much there that we could dissect into about that. It's like, well, I can't. But sticking with the particular show.
Yeah, the dynamic between Thawk and Reno, it's just like, oh,
I like Reno. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Which kind of gives gauge of like how far from the end of Discovery did this happen, because she made a comment that she left a spaceship going from the edge of the universe to go teach at the academy. So how much time has transpired between those two? Some are saying a couple of months, some are saying a couple of years.
Yeah. And it's good to hear too, Stephen, like the jokes too, because it has more jokey stuff to it. It has a more lighter feel and stuff in this particular episode, because Stephen Colbert, who plays the virtual dean,
digital dean of students.
The digital dean of students. Well, he meant what was it? A Talaxian furfly?
Furfly is mating with a beaker.
I was like, okay, here, this is the little comic relief about how different this show is. How we can smile at it, but it's just like, okay, this is the style that they're going with this stuff. I thought it was a little bit fun and everything else. What they do in the opening thing, I forgot about this, is when the camera is panning in the guy's quarters, and we seen Dameron get up. What's his
Mhm.
this is name, Dameron?
Dirham.
Dameron. So I'm glad to see in 1,000 years from now, people are still got little to listen to music. They have the little speakers that goes in their
The
ears, and
Bluetooth.
they do jump rope. It's like, oh wow, he's jump roping. They still do like the little things that be like, okay, the little things that could last through the ages. That could be beneficial for you as a workout session and stuff. And it was just it was nice to see, you know him
Sorry.
giving his little like law, his little morning log to his mom and dad and stuff and everything else. Also, too, to our viewers and stuff, and I don't know if Phil caught this, but we got a character, not just other characters that we will call LGBTQ plus, but we got one of cadets who basically came out and said something about like bisexual or pansexual or something. Like he dated a guy that he got knifed by. He said something about surviving a knife fight with a guy that he was dating.
Oh,
Didn't it? That
Yeah,
was pretty. That
yeah,
was that was pretty interesting.
I missed. Yeah, okay.
yeah. See, I missed that line. I've watched the episode twice, so I might have heard it and didn't even think anything of it. Just like in one ear, out the other.
Yeah, it came up when they was just sitting there, chit chatting just outside the shower and stuff and everything else, and they was like, say, hey, you got like a bruise on his you know side and stuff or whatever, and he was just going, he was just telling them stuff, and then he just nonchalantly just said it was from a guy that he was got knifed at when he was dating or something.
Hmm.
I was just like, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. We
But
got some more LGBT
Oh,
characters.
it's also kind of interesting to note, especially being that far in the future, that I don't know if was it his choice to keep the bruise. You'd think that something from that long ago he'd be able to, like,
yeah,
heal
we
it
could feel
without
something like
Yeah,
that.
any physical deformations or anything like that.
in Star Trek, I learned what they call them. Uh, excuse my language. uh, something, a device that they use to like heal old scars, or something
Thermal
that make
regenerator.
Yeah.
dermal regeneration and stuff and everything else. And sometimes I guess people like to keep their scars as a memento of like um, I was in battle or something, and blah 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 and everything else. I want to show this off as something kind of pride, something about like I could tell a story about like I got knifed, you know. Yeah, yeah, Dylan.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely representation for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? If people say this too, it's like, oh, woke, 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 Star Trek and everything. This show is really, I've heard, about how woke this show is, and about like, oh, I'm like, Star Trek's been woke since 19, what's that? It's 60 years. It's been 60 years.
Yeah.
Star Trek's been so
Always
woke.
been
So,
woke.
they were wokeness with their pride. I hate to say that. They were
They
wokeness with their
they
pride.
The
they
original
were woke
series had an
before it was
alien that
even a
was half
term.
white and half black.
What's that, the
I
Charons?
mean,
The Charons, yeah.
yeah, there's this every series. Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
And
that
they're
was the
back.
whole
They're
point of
back.
Star Trek.
They survived their apocalypse, so they're
Yeah,
they're still they're in the first episode of this series. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they were in section 31. So
I think if people are upset about anything, it's the fact that it is not your typical crew that is exploring space. It's
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
younger crew. It's aimed at a younger crowd. This is about kids, teenagers, early 20s. and it's just has a different vibe to it that's not, I think, not clicking with as many people who are coming in expecting the typical sort of Star Trek adventure
Yeah,
series. This is
yeah.
not. Yeah, it's
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 it, it,
this is
it, we're gonna get some of the stuff that we are familiar with and everything else. That like Lou said last week when he was on the show, he said that the problem solving, the logistics and stuff and everything else, the whole that little thing that that Star Trek was known for is to get themselves they come across something happens, they have to find a way to solve the problem and everything
yeah.
else, and try to figure out how to you know out rouge your enemy, or figure out a way to figure out the science behind whatever's happening and stuff, and then
Mhm.
boom, 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 and then there's the completion of the show and stuff and everything. That's what we are
What we
familiar
grew
with
up
and
with,
stuff.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one is like this particular episode. It really showed that it for the most part it was a very relaxed, laid back episode,
Yeah.
because you could tell that there was no apocalyptic doom or any kind of like
Mm.
any kind of stress or anything that the students was feeling, or I should say the cadets was under and stuff, or just trying to survive the next some years of being in Starfleet Academy or the War
Right.
College, as
Mhm.
they have it now and stuff. And you seen characters, some character growth, some characters are you can start seeing who's wanting to pair up with others. Some are just still trying to figure you know their place out and stuff and everything else. Like Jaden, what's that? Jaden, who is the Klingon. He doesn't want to be involved. He didn't want to be involved in the
Order
Calico. Was it
culture.
the
Calica.
Calico? Yeah, Calico.
Oh
He didn't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
be
yeah.
in the Calico.
Mm.
He's like,
Yeah,
I'm out.
Calica's totally, 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 totally laser tag. Just a little
It's
more aggressive laser tag.
How many years in the
And
future is this again? I was getting the impression it was like 500 years after. How far in it do you know? I don't know if it's like 500 years after the curtain flies.
3191, I think, is about the year that it's based out of.
Okay.
So like the end of the 32nd century.
Oh wow, so it is a ways in the future then. Wow,
yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
lot. Okay.
couple of years, at least a year after the last season of Discovery, I want to say.
Okay.
Sorry, I just got
Oh, all right.
mad
So it's
itching going
way
on
ahead.
today.
Yeah, because that's why a lot of the aliens have changed, and why the
hmm
Klingon. He's a kind of more of a laid back Klingon.
Yeah.
The
It's like he don't seem like the one that's thirsting for a warrior,
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
like
he
a
wants to
warrior strength.
he wants to go into botany.
yeah.
Mm. Total DS9 episode when the end of the episode, the one where Worf went on trial.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
say
rules of
because
engagement.
rules of engagement. Yes,
Yeah.
when Cisco just say, "Wait till you get 4 pips, you'll wish you've gone into botany." This
Oh,
Klingon went into fucking
not me.
botany.
Yes. That
Amazing.
good callback, Dave. That's a
Well,
really good callback.
well, yeah, clip that. I'm saying so. Hopefully, the AI will pick up on that.
The
But yeah,
character
that
Thought also, she's apparently her
Warthog.
species were originally supposed to be just male, and so there's been some
Yeah.
complaints the fact that she's a female. So, but she's
I'll
even the
say
actress
every
has tried to say this is like 1,000 years in the future. Like it's who knows what's
yeah.
changed in the
Eventually,
species.
a Jemadar and a Klingon's bound to try and make a kid, and sure enough, it happened.
Yeah.
Is she the only one? We don't know.
The question, if y'all remember in the Deep Space Nine season finales in um, season 2, um, the Jim Hadar, who basically was talking to Cisco after Quark was just wouldn't shut up for talking nonstop and everything else. And he mentioned the Klingons. He said, I heard that they are warrior species and stuff. He's like, I was hoping to meet a Klingon, be the first species from the anomaly to meet a Klingon and stuff. It seemed
Mm.
like that the Jim Hadar in a sense, would respect the Klingons. They have the respect, and because they were a warrior race. They were like them. Yes, they are genetically bred to be warriors, but they had a sense of like duty and loyalty, like the Klingons. And they're not all Klingons are
Right.
loyal, but like I mean, they had that sense of things. So I always thought that was a little pretty nice touch that the Jim and Dar always respected the Klingons and stuff and everything. Even the Klingons had some respect for them because at times when they went into battle, you never know which side will come out victorious because it seemed kind of evenly matched.
Mhm.
But Dave, you got notes that you took Dale?
I took some notes. Yes.
I can-
They made mention to a tardigrade.
Yes, I picked up on that.
I picked up on that too. I picked up on that too.
Yeah, but I just think it's adorable that the Starfleet mascot's a lapling. I'm trying to remember when the Laplings was first introduced. I didn't go too deep into my research because
Talk
again,
about
crazy week.
let's talk about the costume, their mascots that they had to when they set up for was it Calico,
Calica.
Calica, that one was a Gatu,
Mugatu.
Mugatu. I was like, really,
Yeah.
that Mugatu? Okay, okay. I was like, you know what? That would be a really cool Halloween costume.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's probably going to be all the rage net for Star Trek fans now that it's out there. Who knows which company will come out with it? Says, "Ooh, I want to be a Mugato for Halloween
But what's that?
or a
Lapwing?
Lapling." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
See, you'd think an organization like Starfleet would come up with a better mascot. Like I don't know, a salamander.
A salamander. Glad they didn't have nothing like Badgie.
Oh dear. That would have been bad. That'd have been really bad.
But I really, like I said, it really, like I said, and Phil made a point too a short time ago about like it's like showing the younger side of what people who had been through the academies. You know, it's like this is what not
Thank
so
you,
much
Dylan.
atypical. Dylan. It just shows you the side that okay, the, when it gets down to you had Caleb and Damon who were kind of at odds with each other in the first 2 episodes and stuff, but then you can see them kind of like, you know what? I mean, we're roommates and stuff and whatnot.
Sorry.
What's that?
Off. No, I was
What
actually
was
trying
that,
to switch
Phil?
my phone off before somebody called. Sorry about that.
But no, I was just saying, like, it was nice to see that they have a little rivalry with the War College. And it's kind of like, and the chancellor even said it's kind of healthy for that. It's as long as it don't go too far. Like, it's go too far. To have this little rivalry and stuff, because she mentioned that the War College, they are trained to fight wars. Starfleet is trained to end wars. They Starfleet, they are trained. They are in the diplomacy business and stuff. They're not. Yes, they can fight a war, but they most likely we want to end wars and stuff. And it shows you just you know how the War College in this episode and the Starfleet how they came at each other with their pranks, as they say, how they pranked them and stuff and everything. It's like how do we become not we don't want to have something original. we want to prank them in a way that's going to be legendary,
Mhm.
you know. And then when they started going through that whole little, you know, um, Genesis was talking about what they're going to do, how they're going to set up this whole prank and stuff. I swear to it, and I don't know if anybody disagree with me or not and everything else, but I swear to it, you know, hearing the music and seeing, you know, on the screens, you know, what they're doing and their planning and stuff and everything else, especially with the what's their plant called they had, Dave?
Vitus, my brain just
Vitus
Vitus reflux. Sorry, my brain
Vitus
just stopped
reflux.
working.
Vitus reflux. And it was like, okay, it brought back to me Ocean's 11. They kind of had like an Ocean's 11 little type thing. I don't know if anybody agree or disagree with me or not and everything, but you know, it's just like, are they setting up for? It kind of was like a heist. It kind of sounded like they was like, it was like they was planning a heist, but they was actually planning a prank. You know, it wasn't a heist, but it was like a prank. You know, they was planning on, we need, you know, we need a distraction. We need to disable the security. We need to get the DNA from, you know, the um the War College Chancellor, you know, just how, you know, it all fell into place and stuff and everything. And then, you know, the all that little stuff, it kind of reminded me kind of like a little heist type thing when you telling your, you know, your plan to your associates and stuff, but you seen it in action as it play out and stuff and everything else. And I was like, oh, this is Ocean's 11 in my eye. I don't know
Well,
if you might agree with me.
I don't know. I You know what vibes I did get off this, and I forgot to mention this earlier. Tell me if I'm wrong. Especially I think when the scene come up with the plant. I don't know. I was getting a little bit of Harry Potter vibes off this as well. Some Hogwarts Harry Potter kind of
Hmm.
interaction, and although it's not magic, now it's tech, but
Yeah.
that kind of rivalry between
Well,
the houses and um, trying to one up each other. I got a little bit of that out of it as well.
well,
Um,
now that you mention it, with the 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 Vitus reflux plant, it just like with its squeaky little voice and things
yeah,
like that, which
It
Loki,
mimics.
I think was
yeah.
the star of the episode was the plant.
Oh yeah.
And then
That was
when
funny,
they
yeah.
used the mutation at the end of the episode to prank the War College students, it just like everyone just all
Yeah,
getting thrown up on the windows and things like that,
yeah,
and the our cadets were just out in the quad, just like
yeah.
just
That's crazy.
silently
Yeah,
admiring their awesomeness, as just being as casual and nonchalant and innocent as possible, which also leads into one of my other observations, because obviously one of the war college the female war college student, definitely a Romulan, a Northerner, because she had the heavy ridges, but the Vulcan didn't act like the typical Vulcan. This guy
No,
was
yeah. I
he
thought
was
that
a
too.
smug, he was a prick, yeah, he
he threw
was
out
like
some Vulcan
Didn't even
shade.
like
He threw out Vulcan
yeah,
shade.
yeah,
yeah,
he was a Vulcan on freaking steroids with his attitude, which is, I mean, that at least
yeah,
with Spock and with Tuvok, I mean, they were arrogant, but they were
mhm,
dispassionate. There was
yeah,
a lot of emotion in this Vulcan, which again, Vulcans in the 32nd century may have been able to blend a little bit. And well, since Nivar is like Vulcan and Romulus
mhm,
combined together, so maybe they're not as rigid as Neelix pointed out was with that earlier episode with
Tuvok.
Tuvok, comparing him to a dry noodle, where those Maquis were the wet noodle. It's like, no, you're the stuck up prick, is what Neelix was essentially trying to tell Tuvok.
But he threw some shots at what's that, Dameron, when he got basically when they went with a new captain, because basically he was like he won, you know, I mean the way he became captain, he kind of got in her head, which I was like, you know what, you kind of let that even at, Sean Ferrick said in Trick Culture, you know, you got to anticipate something like that. he got inside her head and she fell and he took advantage. For him, you know, he takes every advantage that he can to
Oh yeah.
achieve his to achieve his objective. So when they was talking about, he's the captain and everything, his plan about, how to defeat them, um, it wasn't working and stuff. And then, when he was sitting in the penalty box or whatever they want to call it and stuff, and then Genesis basically came up with, you know what, let's use the replicator. Let's use our training, because they had training. And when they took out the replicators and started filling up with smoke and stuff like that, then they were like, they remember they could pinpoint where, where they shooting from, because and then too, Sam, basically a hologram, who it passed right through her and stuff,
I'm
you know.
permeable.
It's so funny that boom, 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 that strategy worked. Genesis, plan works, and that Vulcan turned to, David and said, the best decision was them, uh, not probably was that not making not having you as the captain anymore, stuff like that. He threw some real big shade at him and stuff and everything, because he was impressed. He said they used the smoke to pinpoint our point of fire, which gave our position away, and that's how they took them out and stuff. And boy, damn it, Ego was bruised.
Oh
He was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm out.
See,
I'm out.
he hit this was a teachable moment for him. I mean, he was arrogant. He was full of himself. To use the information out of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous is that you got to let go. You say when you're the director, you're running the show. If everything goes right, if it goes smoothly, you're pleased with yourself. But when things you just totally go to crap, who do you have to blame? You're blaming everybody but yourself. And see that is Darum in this episode. Is saying
Yeah.
I just had that epiphany moment just now. So I'm just like, yay, a teachable moment.
There
I'm
you
I'm
go.
gonna be right back. I just need a glass of water. I'm still listening. I'm just gonna put on mute, but I am still listening. I'll be right back.
Cool, Phil.
Okay.
Right.
Thank
Say,
you.
but I
Yeah.
am definitely going to have to give my sponsor a text about that. It's like,
Yeah.
this recent episode of Star Trek, this guy's an AA candidate.
There you
and
go.
and considering that that's the section of the kind of the section of the big book that I'm reading on a daily
Mm,
basis, or supposed to be reading on a daily basis. I do my best to do so. So in case he is watching, yeah, I am doing it, trying to do my best to do my job.
there you go. There
Let's
you
see
go.
what
Little steps at a time, Dave. Little steps at a time.
oh uh say yeah, Dilla had a couple of comments. Trying to look up videos about the show, just a bunch of alt right. Oh boy,
Oh,
the doo doo head. Yeah, or it's like Lilo would call him a stupid head.
yeah. 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 I mean, he he wasn't so much, I mean, yeah, he kind of threw, not through, but he kind of got inside Genesis' head when they was, basically trying to see who's going to be the captain and stuff like that. He took the opportunity because he
Oh
seen,
yeah.
he said something and she got distracted and boom, boom, boom. It was like, I can't believe you use my family, stuff against me and stuff like that. He was like, any opportunity that I have, I'm going to take it. You know, I mean, he sees winning at almost all costs and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Even though I have to
He
throw you under the bus, I will throw you under the bus.
yeah, he big alpha dog energy going on with him.
But he did learn. He did learn from Reno too that when he's talking, because he thought his pad was malfunctioning or there's something wrong because he's not receiving any communication from his parents. She just gave him a little talking to, just be like, look, and then we got some backstory about him too, about like, when he was on the turbo lift with them about like why his family is estranged, his parents are estranged and stuff. It's
Yeah,
like wow.
that's kind of harsh. I mean, when a child is at their most vulnerable, for a parent to their parents to just walk out from a performance, that can be an emotion, that can be a huge gut punch to one's ego and to their
What,
self-worth. It's like
what species is he again?
oh, how is it pronounced, Phil? Do you remember? Caldarian? You're still
Sorry, which one's that again? The
Darum species. The cat. It begins
yeah.
with a K, ends with an N. Let me see.
Yeah, it's just something. Well, anyway, we don't know how their particular species. Okay, because we've seen Vulcans. Like
Yeah.
Spock, he grew up half human, half Vulcan. In a lot of Vulcans' eyes, he was. They looked at him as look, you're half of us, but like that other half, we don't really particularly like. Your standard of Vulcan, what standard of Vulcan, how can you put yourself up against another Vulcan when you only got half of our DNA and stuff? They look down on him for not being a full-blooded Vulcan and stuff and everything. I know we talked about this, Katie, and stuff and everything about how she's, say the Vulcans, um, about looking down on Spock and stuff. But like, when you're looking at different species, it's like you, what in their culture is almost a dishonorable thing in the sense of parents have a high standards for their children and stuff. You look at things like, what could be a dishonorable thing that makes the parent kind of not so much turn their back on them, but give you frowned upon, give you give a parent almost like, I really don't. You're not living up to your expectation in my eye. That's kind of how I see it. And it sounded like he didn't live up to their expectation and stuff for that one reason.
Sorry, a little confused there. I had to quickly send a message off for somebody. I apologize. Well, you were looking for which species again? That
Darum species. I think
Oh,
oh,
Ionian.
Kylonian. Yeah, Kylonian.
Sorry. Okay, that's not what I was looking at. Okay,
Yeah.
that's wrong than what I put in.
He said he's the first Kylonian.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's the first. It's 3195. He became the first Ionian to enlist in Starfleet. So yeah,
And we know
he's
they.
that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say we know that they can. They have the ability to breathe, not so much breathe, but can exist in the vacuum of space for several minutes.
Yeah, that's because they even though at the academy he looks humanoid. That first episode, kids these days, yeah, he's definitely more of a reptilian look to them.
Kind of remind me of like Mystique in the X-Men
a
in the
little bit,
X-Men
yeah.
stuff like that. It's how we don't see her as much in her blue form, like she's more looking like human and stuff. But like eventually she learned that I'm I was born blue. I was born like this and stuff. I don't have to look like that and everything. But I mean, I guess he wants to like look human to fit in.
Mm-hmm. Most likely, yeah. And they can last up to 8 minutes in the vacuum of space before dying.
Yeah.
Yay, memory alpha.
Yeah.
Let's go to for Trek information.
Oh.
Hello, good sir.
Hello, Will.
Yeah, for me, it's been a week for me, but I'm here. I'm still sober.
We're
And
like Dave said earlier, me and Dave said earlier, people like myself, Phil, and whoever's listening, we're surviving this winter crazy blastness, grip most of North America.
yeah, I dropped the spelling in the chat for
There, okay.
or see,
I see,
actually,
yeah.
I can throw it right up there too.
Mhm.
Yay, copy paste. But yeah, we're talking about the Vitus. God,
Venus
Okay.
reflux.
yeah, it's on my screen. I'm just like, what's the name of the episode again? But yeah, just yeah, uh, Tuesday morning here, William. It got to -5 in Colorado Springs. It was rightfully cold when my
Mm.
when the owner of the sober house flew in. Actually, no, it wasn't Tuesday. It was Monday morning. It was -5. And I say, but when he flew it, when the owner of the building flew in on Sunday night, he took some pictures from the plane and sent it to the group chat to all the Arizona sober house managers. They're like, where the hell are you? Because it was just a blanket of white, just nothing but white for the entire screen. It was yeah, we got stoned on pretty good, and it just by Tuesday afternoon is almost completely melted away.
Hmm.
Say, but yeah, it started at -5 when the sun came up Monday morning. By afternoon, it got to about 55. So a 60-degree spread in less than 10 hours. And then it got back down into the 20s and 30s, but it's just been kind of over ever since. But yeah, saying in the Florida Panhandle recently got some snow as well, so it's kind of crazy. Oh, I don't think you mentioned that. But
Oh,
wait. Oh,
okay.
yeah. See, but yeah, it's a lot warmer today than it was yesterday.
We are
Yeah,
still cold.
your lows are sometimes been a little warmer than our daytime highs, Dylan.
Mhm.
It's been rightfully chilly. It's like right now. Let's see here. Come on,
We
wake
had some
up.
of those
Yeah,
temperatures, Dylan.
it's 34 right now. It's 8 o'clock here in the Springs.
Oh, got you beat. It's 14 here, 14 degrees,
Oh,
and I mean, it'll be like when you say Celsius,
That's for real.
Phil, it will be like -1 or 2.
The thing is, we also have to, our temperatures also take into account the feels like, because we have such a strong wind
hmm.
chill. So we might
Yes.
say in Celsius, like -10, -11 feels like -21, which I think for you guys is 14. Nope, sorry, that's
Sound,
-10. Is like -5, -6.
Okay.
It
chilly.
gets, yeah, it's
Yeah. It,
brutally
I
cold.
figured when you meant son-in-law when you said sin-in-law.
Burns your face off. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're gonna be in the neighborhood, yeah, drop me a line. Say because we got a couple people from DT here in the spring, so
Absolutely.
We hit an
yeah, but it's like,
overnight low of what would be punched in. All they're almost the same, -49
oh dear.
Oh,
Fahrenheit. Yeah, that was an overnight. We might get that again too. So it's really
Stay
yeah,
bad at the moment.
warm.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Guys up there in Canada, please, bundle up, stay warm.
But that's our overnight.
Stay alive.
It'll go up during the day. We'll get these really high and lows from day to night.
Yeah, like I said, like -5 Fahrenheit to 55, and from like 6 a.m. to about 4 p.m. So not even like 8-hour difference. It's like 63.
You know, William, that is a really good question because we are talking about the third episode right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of the Starfleet Academies and stuff, and it's kind of living up to what some people have said before. It's kind of like, I'm not trying to trash it or be any kind of like, I'm trying to remain open and stuff and everything, but it's given almost like a college s like high school college s vibes with
yeah. Star Trek.
young like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah, Star Trek 90210.
Star Trek
One Track Hill.
90210. Oh, that is a good way of putting it, Dave, and stuff. Oh yeah,
One Track Hill. I wonder if anyone else has come up with that yet.
One Track Hill. That is
Cut
hilarious.
that.
But I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's
well,
entertaining to watch.
yeah, well, William, I think just hit the nail on the head, which I've been kind of ruminating a little bit. I couldn't quite articulate, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
a completely different Star Trek. It just probably just kind of, even though it started out really strong, it introduced the villain of the season right off the bat. Now we haven't heard anything about him the last 2 episodes.
I suspect next week we might. I mean, you already seen what's one thing, but here in the next week or two, we're gonna probably see you know what what he's been up to.
Oh, first episode, William, Laura Thought. I mean, I forget the when she was had that debris stuck in her, and she was asking for blood type, and it's just like, be positive. It's like, no, this is not the time for positive improvement. It's like, no, let's be positive.
No, it's Brock.
Um, you know, the I don't know about the viewership numbers. That's something I should look into for the next episode, because since the way I've decided to do this is, it's the new episode's coming out in about 5 hours is when the new episode's going to drop. But see, I like some of the podcasts, they're doing their reviews hours after it
Yeah,
posts.
yeah.
We give almost an entire week to get a chance to watch it, and sometimes watch it multiple times, because sometimes you do need to watch the episode multiple times to pick up on some of the more subtle digs, like your Hillenbrand on Twitter X. I mean he nitpicks a lot and finds little things that just are like sometimes just
Easter
fractions of
eggs.
a second Easter eggs, just like Easter eggs the size of a pebble. And it just like, oh my
Trick culture.
God.
Sean Fair. Trick culture. Sean
Oh,
Fair. Him and his team, they do the same thing, especially at the end when they have their little
cetacean
cetaceans observation.
observation.
Oh goodness gracious! I love their little thing and stuff. I mean, you could tell the nerds. You could tell Star Trek nerds when we like, and they go do the fine tooth combs. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. You know.
Yeah, same, but yeah, they've already signed up for season 2 before this season even started to air. So hopefully, hopefully things will start. Like I said, episode 4 looks like a good one. That it could be a Klingon heavy episode from what it looks like. And saying so, just based on the teasers, which I'm wondering if we can get away with posting the teaser trailers without getting us copyright strike.
No.
But why is you doing that, Dave? Just because you don't want to.
Yeah, part of me wants to, but part of me doesn't want to ruin the chance of getting things going before the getting gets good for
Yeah.
because I say, but yeah, like and subscribe, people. Like and subscribe if
Yes,
you like, because
yes.
this is the, or is I always like to say with my Lyft customers, because with driving for Lyft, I give bottled water, I have candy, I have gum, I give out some bad jokes. They're I'll toss one. It's a clean one, but let me just ask you guys, what do you call a fly with no wings? A walk.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
You do that really well and stuff. I see the
Yeah, same.
video of a guy. I see the video of a guy. He's an Uber driver and he's got a dog that goes with him. His name is Bowie. And Bowie sits in the front seat, and I tell you, everybody don't even pay attention to the driver, they pay attention to the dog through the whole time. So he has the dog becomes a celebrity, and it's like, okay, I like when drivers, have creative ways of like entertaining their guests when they're driving them from point A to point B.
Yeah. And say if I had a small
Yeah,
dog,
it's from
think I
my art
might do
channel.
it. What's
I
that,
have an
Phil?
art channel, so that's why that's there. I do a lot of painting and drawing and that online.
Is
So,
that one of your projects that you're working on
so
behind
that's
you then?
wait, it's a bag, is what it is. It's just. But I just thought to make a good backdrop for part of my what I've got
Art
going here.
channel.
So, for an art channel.
Okay,
Did
yeah.
that for a while.
Yeah, but yeah,
Phil was drawing the Gorn real quick. Phil was
Gagorn.
drawing a Gorn, as we dubbed it a gay Gorn, because some of us are,
That'll be finished in the next couple of weeks, I hope so, because I want that to get on some merch and up for the merch store. So
we got to make that Gorn woke. We got to make that Gorn woke.
Right.
There was a quick drop of the Gorn in this episode as well.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Just like that. Yeah, I should have wrote that down, but yeah, saying the Gorn was kind of mentioned, kind of goes right with the tardigrade. And see, I really need to figure out some better lighting in here. So I have some of my lights off so my podcast looks better, but I have a hard time reading my notes sometimes. So I have to like. What? Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
No, but when the cadets went into Aki's quarters that one night, and she's wearing pajamas with little baby warp cores on them. It's like I want those pajamas.
Charles Ferrick said the same thing. He said, "I want those." He's like, Geordie LaForge had some warp core pajamas.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, like, how many people are wanting to get warp core pajamas now and stuff? Star Trek should, Paramount should be, getting all kinds of like different little pajama type things and stuff. Like one with a bunch of oh shoot, what's the little things that Klingon can't stand? Tribbles.
Oh, tribbles.
But yeah, just going to back with Laura, like how much I love her as a character. Like at the end of the episode when she's talking with Aki and you say, what do you usually meditate on? Decapitation.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that is definitely both a very Klingon and a very Jim Hadar thing to say.
Yes.
But I mean, like I said, I don't think you heard when I mentioned it early on, Phil, but just at the beginning of the episode, she is very, very much like a drill sergeant. And she's a drill sergeant on steroids.
Yeah.
Yes. She is
very
much
the one who apparently has come either from the future or from the past. I don't remember. She's
what?
Which character? Is this the same character I'm
Laura
thinking?
Laura Thok, the Klingon Jem'Hadar hybrid.
Half
Oh,
Klingon, half
sorry.
Klingon, half Jem'Hadar.
Sorry, I get their names backwards. The her partner,
Reno.
Jet
Reno.
Reno.
Yeah, I get their names backwards for some reason. Yeah, because I've still been trying to figure her out, like what her story is.
Well, she was on Discovery. She's a Discovery character.
Oh, I missed that one. Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because I did miss a lot of Discovery. So okay, is she from like the past or the future or something then?
She
So
is from the
yeah,
past.
she joined the crew in season 2, and she
okay,
was rescued on a planet that I think she was like the only surviving member of the crew, and then she
okay,
joined the Discovery, and then she went to the future with Discovery.
okay.
Since that kind of goes on, might play. I don't know if that it was that part or the fact that the last season of Discovery that she went to the edge of creation. She left a ship that went from the edge of creation to teach at the academy.
Okay.
Which see, sorry, so I saw a teaser. Watch it, big. Oh yeah, they lean heavily on Star Trek and Big Bang Theory. They've had Brett Spiner, LeVar Burton, Will Wheaton is
Regular
Sheldon's
practically.
nemesis.
Yeah.
As the series went on, that they became besties.
Yeah.
Like I said too last time when you was on here, Will.
Brett.
Watch the Orville. You and your wife need to watch the Orville, season 1, 2, and 3. I'm just saying, watch the Orville.
Oh
Y'all
yeah.
gonna like it. Watch the Orville. Anybody who's not seen it, watch the Orville. It's good.
I forgot what I was going to say.
You talk about the Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Yeah, but once Sheldon and Will Wheaton were becoming friends, that episode when Brent Spiner rips open into an action figure box, saying that made
Oh
Brent Spiner his nemesis. Yeah, there were a lot of Star Trek actors in the Orville, and there's definitely and Seth MacFarlane it's no secret that it's an homage to Star Trek, specifically Star Trek: The Next Generation. You know, you've got
yeah.
Robert
What I
Picardo's in
Picardo's in there.
Robert Picardo's in there. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I
Um,
understand, I some of the and I don't want to go too far off, but some of the writers are carried over from Next Generation, and they
mhm.
yes.
actually got to do some stories that they never got to tell on Next Generation. Apparently, they had a lot of scripts. They pulled some of them out, and actually were able to now incorporate them into this show that they couldn't
Well,
do in Next
well,
Gen.
yeah, Ronald D. Moore
Rewritten a
was
bit of
one of
it.
was on the production staff, if I'm not mistaken, as
Oh,
well. So
Oh
Ronald D.
yeah.
Moore.
Yes, I think he was. Yeah.
oh yeah, he
And saying
was.
so he was one of those guys that was sending in the unsolicited scripts, because that's one thing that Star Trek was great on is that if you can say any Joe Schmo could send a script in, and if they liked it, they would reach out to you, they'd flush it out, and if they still liked it, bam, it became an episode.
Wow.
Yesterday's Enterprise, I think, was one of those episodes,
Hmm.
if memory serves.
Okay. Wow. But everybody can know, everybody see from season 1 and 2, Orville season 3, their production budget went up. The
Well, because
stories that they
they
told was
switched over to
deep.
Hulu, so Hulu
They
had the
they, they
money.
got pretty deep. So anybody who hasn't seen Orville, y'all will see season 3 will be like, okay, we gotta get more of
Yeah.
this. We've been asking for years for more of Orville, but Walt Disney, they're dragging their feet. We don't know. Even the
Yeah.
actors themselves, Seth MacFarlane now don't know. They're just at a standstill, so they don't know if they're going to give a green light for season 4 or not. But like I
Well,
said, it's something. Go ahead.
there's a two-parter in season 3 of the Orville that ranks up there with best of both worlds level intensity.
Mhm.
So since
Oh
Mitch and
yeah,
Evis
even
in
the
both worlds
finale
earlier
is
tonight. Just like,
yeah.
mm there's
Oh,
just,
absolutely.
and of course, part one, of course, ends in a cliffhanger. But the episode 2 just came out a lot quicker than episode 2 with Next Generation when they had to wait the entire summer to see
Yeah.
the resolution of that.
But like,
I'll remember that.
before we conclude this evening and stuff, yeah. We gotta talk about that, Phil.
Oh God.
William, we'll talk about that next time you join us
Yeah.
for our whole part 2 of what we were discussing a few weeks ago and stuff. But this you could tell, like we said too, this Star Trek has evolved in a new way. It's rebranded in a new way. It's reshaped in a new way and stuff and everything else. Some of us, it's taking time for us to, for us to adjust to it. Like they said he didn't really start into season 3 or season 4 of
3.
the Best of Both Worlds. Was it season 3?
Well, I was thinking a little. I think
It was
Menage
season
a
3. Yeah,
Troy might. Yeah, Menage a
Best of
Troy.
Both
I
Worlds.
think might have been my first episode that I watched of Star Trek on TV.
Well, see, I watched the very first Encounter at Farpoint. I was just a kid. I really enjoyed it. Star Trek. I was just hooked. I was like, I wasn't one of these people because I was young at the time. I was just like, oh wow, this is nice. This is different from Kirk's and stuff and everything else. I was just fascinated by you know the the touch screen buttons and how the phasers look and just every little thing and stuff and everything else. I was just fascinated because I started out watching TNG. Then Deep Space Nine came along. I watched it and I was just like, I kind of felt like the same way I'm feeling now. I'm trying to remain like, okay, where are they going with this? I just didn't get I was getting the like, uh, are they doing something? I was just kind of like, okay, they showing different episodes and stuff like that. But I remember at the end of season 1 going into season 2, the first 3 episodes in season 2 was like a back-to-back banger because it was 3 episodes and it wasn't like, a traditional Star Trek where you have the ending, the first, a cliffhanger, then you come back and then conclude it, blah, blah, blah. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, oh wow, they really, it changed stuff. And I was like, okay, this seems pretty promising and stuff, going into that. Then it kind of slowed down for me through a quarter way into the second season. It really picked up when they brought in the Maquis. And it was like, okay, now they're starting to get very interesting in Deep Space Nine. I started, the more and more I watched it, I was like, okay, they really starting to get some legs on them and stuff. Only until after the season 2 finale, going into season 3, that's when for me, I was like, oh, I was hooked. I was like, oh yeah, Deep Space Nine, I'm hooked. Because we got the new big bad, the Dominion, Jim Hadar. It was like, oh man, these guys, they look like they're gonna be, some serious problem for the people in Alpha Quadrant and stuff. But it took a little time for, like you were saying, Dave, to grow. Just like this particular Star Trek series for people like us, me, you, and Phil, and others who are much older and stuff and everything to kind of like let it let it come over us and be like, oh, okay, I get it now. I see where they're going with this and stuff. They're trying to find their footing, is what I'm saying.
I think that's yeah. Because deep so, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely, William. They were both Travis and I are clicking it, so it's like on off, on off, on off.
Oh, yeah.
What was you saying, Phil?
Oh, so that's what I think saved Deep Space Nine, was to have such a huge opposition, that it forced the characters into a situation. Now I know Star Trek Academy, they've introduced a villain, but we'll see if they do something more with it. But it might be what it needs is something to either threaten the Academy, or that becomes enough of a threat that it, I don't know, maybe that's just me. I don't know, but I just figure it needs something to upset the apple cart, so to speak. Something to.
Well, it's kind of interesting that you put it that way, Phil, because with next week's episode, Vox and Excelso, I'm hoping my Latin is saying that right. Because it's saying the description for the episode reads, when an existential crisis threatens to wipe out a beloved infamous Star Trek species, a cadet is forced to confront his past and strained relationship with his family. As he
Oh.
pursues an unexpected method of coping, Nala races against time to save this species from extinction. And of course, it's going to be a Klingon episode, so it's going to be
Okay.
be heavy on that. And Jaden's the central focus. It's his parents that are having with the strained relationship. So if Gowron would still be around, he'd be staring at them. So but, yeah, Robert O'Reilly, he is a phenomenal actor. Just those big bug eyes of his. I mean, and it was just a total accident that made the character famous. He just kind of did his like the way I've seen it without it, just as a regular human being in the episodes of at least one or two episodes of Knight Rider. He played different characters and just like, "Hey, that's
Okay.
Gowron, that's Robert O'Reilly." You can recognize him right off the bat. It's the eyes. Going with another like DS9 dig when Garrick was just staring at somebody that he was interrogating, just didn't say a word, didn't touch him, didn't lay a finger, just like the eyes, the eyes.
Hey, I think Anapertain said it was Dr. Parente or something like that. Dr. Parente, he was like,
Auburn
he was,
Tane. And Auburn Tane.
he says Anapertain, he said that he was interrogating him. The only thing he did was he just looked at the guy for hours on end, and he said by that time he had that guy like confessing everything and stuff and everything because Garrick was just staring at him the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And he said, he said that, he was back practicing medicine or something. Who knows and stuff. But
No,
anywho, Dave.
unless there's any closing thoughts on the episode, like I said, it's I really hope this episode that airs tonight's going to be good. I might stay up for it. I don't know, but I actually need to get on the road and make some money this week. So fingers crossed that Serenity will win. Well, yeah, it's been a long day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody out there too stays safe. And if you're under, whatever state or up in Canada as Phil himself and others and
Stay
stuff,
warm.
stay safe. Stay safe and everything,
Stay safe as a Vulcan.
We'll be all
Yep.
right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We,
Oh yeah.
All
Absolutely.
Yeah.
right. Until next week, and I promise I'll get the socials all up and running like a couple of days before instead of a couple hours before the podcast. So, but
Before
again,
we go, let's thank everybody that was in chat with us and stuff.
oh,
William, Dylan, I seen
Brittany.
Brittany earlier and stuff and everything. Anybody who's watching us live and stuff, thank you for joining us and stuff.
Oh yeah,
As Dave said earlier, you can participate with us if you want to. if you are camera shy, you can come on and you can just, you know, hear your thoughts and stuff, you know, verbally and stuff and everything, or you can do what everybody's doing, like, you know, that does in the chat, just comments and stuff, and you know, we'll glance at it and we'll see and stuff and everything. But
Well, and
you know, we go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say, in 4 weeks, 4 weeks, we're going to hit episode 100 of Technically Trek. I know it's not the 100th episode we've done total, but this, since we started doing Technically Trek 2 years ago, we're hitting God, 100 episodes of this, and I'm still yapping away about Star Trek. It's been an honor and privilege to have my friends, young and old, long term and short term, being a part of the journey. But we're going to make a party out of it. We'll talk about the episode, and
This
then we're
year
just going to.
is 60 anniversary. We're gonna go full technical. We're gonna go old school Trek. We're gonna, you know, I know Katie probably hate us and stuff, but we're gonna talk TOS too. We're gonna do TOS, TNG. We're just gonna
Well,
go
yeah,
old school.
for the sixth. Well, I think if we continue to do it on Wednesdays, we are going to be like a day after the 60th anniversary, so we might do a special Tuesday. We might do a special Tuesday episode of Technically Trek to celebrate on the day.
Give me
And then we'll make a part 2 of it on the next day, sort of thing.
give me some advance notice. I might do a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do
Yeah, so
something
yeah,
for it.
like in 4 weeks we're going to hit episode 100. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, Phil drew like a cute little caricature of me for Technically Trek. Saying,
Oh, God, I was gonna ink that, and I was gonna.
I
Yeah,
think
I
the
like-
glasses are a
more comment on that.
little big sign, but I mean it's a caricature, so
Yeah.
I say just
Absolutely.
nightmares when I had to wear
Okay.
big
Jeez.
ass glasses when I was a kid.
Hmm.
But yeah. See, until next week, may Spock be with you. Be safe, be warm. But I think you were going to say something else, Travis. Then you let me go. But are we good or?
I was just gonna say, you know, real quick, everybody, just stay safe. You know, stay safe for the, you know, for the foreseeable future, for the next week and all and everything else. Phil, you know, I'm glad you joined us and all and everything else.
Yeah,
Also,
cool.
too, Phil does have a channel of his own, so you know, Phil, you want to plug your?
Oh, Phil Chandler Arts, and I might be going live in about half hour to 45 minutes. I'll be doing an art stream, so it's an art channel, painting, drawing, digital art, all that stuff. And I talk about art, I'm trying to get it underway, trying to get some momentum going in it, but I just keep running into issues. I threw my back out earlier this week, and I've been kind of, actually the last 3 days I've been on my back half the time because I've been in some pain. So I haven't been able to do much with it this week, but every time I start to ramp something up, something always happens. But yeah, I'm going to try and be on tonight though.
I definitely feel you there, but I mean, I'm debating if I want to keep this beard going another 2 weeks. As saying I've been kind of a little bit superstitious on shaving until, because even though I'm not wearing the hat tonight. My Seahawks are beating Super Yay.
That's right. They're going up against my Patriots. Oh my!
It's going to be a repeat. It's a Super Bowl 49 repeat. So,
boy, that's good. And we don't have Brady, and we don't have the old gang and stuff, or Gronkowski.
neither does Seattle. We don't have the old gang either.
Oh man, a new young squad, That's going to be interesting. The Super Bowl, a repeat of Super Bowl 49.
And it's gonna be in the home of the Niners. So I'm just like, that just tastes so sweet. If you're a Niners fan, I'm sorry. I didn't lose the subscribers from that.
We appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining us and all and everything. Phil, I love you to death. Thank you for stopping by all the time, man. Whenever you can.
Oh, it's always fun coming here, sure.
And Katie will be back, guys. Maybe
not
next week. She not next week.
The week after. If she's not here for the 100th episode, I'm gonna fly out to London to make sure she goes on the air.
If you're doing that, I'm coming with you.
All right, guys. Y'all take care.
See, and
Love
actually,
you
people
all.
hail frequencies